Howdy Hoopers, this is Shay Rippinger here of Hip the Hoopla, and welcome to the Hoop Love Y'all show, where we talk about health, humor, and hooping. And I am Shay Rippinger, I'm your host. I am a hooper, hoops on the wall, all that kind of good stuff. A humorist, a professional. I've been a professional cartoonist for over 20 years, but also I use humor in all my aspects of everyday life. He was even a humor columnist for the Denver Post for a while, doing a column called Dating and Hand Grenades. And I have been in business with my hoop business for 7 years and hooping for 10. So anyway, let's get started. Tonight's theme is cues and clues. So I'm wearing my hat today because I was wearing that outside. I'd already washed my hair, and I'm going. Okay, if I take this off, I'm going to have hat hair. So anyway, I'm just going to leave it on, and it's going to be a hat day. So alrighty. I welcome you. If you're watching live, that is great. And if you're watching a recording, that is great also. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And we've got like a little pet cameo in the background. I don't know if you can hear little footsteps behind me, but that's little Layla. She's been with us. So let's see. We're going on 2 weeks now, something like that. Maybe this is the third week, something. I think we're starting the third week with her. Hi, Joe. Nice to see you. And my husband could just call me right at the beginning of my broadcast. Like I was ready to go on live. I'm like, really? Really? It's kind of like on Tuesday nights, I have to remind him, I'm teaching class tonight. Oh, really? And it's news to him like almost every week. So it's so funny. But anyway, so I had to decline this call. I feel bad. But anyway, honey, if you're watching, or you should be watching, I love you. So, alrighty. So cues and clues. So tonight, some of these are some funny things. I just the cues thing. I have a page of notes here, so I'm following my little page of notes. So if you see me looking down, that's why I want to try and stick with my notes and also stick with the time as well. Let's see. I'm gonna put my notes over here, and then I'll look more at the camera instead of like the screen down below. So I've got like 3 pieces of technology going up here, 4 if you include the mic. So a professional, so getting there. Alrighty, so sometimes let's see here. Time to feed this old brain with some good. Oh, that's so funny. So the comment that Joan just made was time to feed this old brain with some good stuff. Thank you, Joan. That's really sweet. So again, I cover health, humor, and hooping, so I'm going to try and go in order. I have all my notes going on here, and so yeah. So what do I mean by cues? Okay, you can pull cue. That's not it. Although I looked up the definitions of cue and clue because apparently, according to Google's. According to the Googles, according to Google, they are often used interchangeably. They're not interchangeable words, though. So, according to the definition online, a cue is a signal for action. So, and then a clue is a fact or an idea that serves to reveal or lead to an unknown answer. So, why is this distinction important? You might want to know. I think that that if you tune into the cues, one of the things that made me think about this is belly dance. So in tribal belly dance, they have these things called cues. They're belly dance cues. And when you're dancing in a group of people, you get a cue as to what the next move is. So you can be dancing and everybody knows what the signals are. So those little signals. So for instance, if everybody's here and somebody takes their hand and does I don't know, like that, then they, maybe they turn around and they're doing, an undulation going the other way, or whatever the cues are that are all agreed upon that they all know, then that cue is to move to the next action. Of course, cues are used in theater as well to move people along to the next thing that they're supposed to be doing, the next action that they're supposed to be doing. So I think of the universal cues, so like life lessons. And I wanted to use the health analogy. So, but also I wanted to give you what my interpretation of this is. So you have the first step. So I came up with 4 steps here. You can come up with as many steps as you like. It's, anyway, you can type them in if you have questions or comments. I do have a live feed going on Facebook and on YouTube, and I do believe that I can see the live feeds of questions for everything. So for both of the feats. And I will address those on the video if I see them, and then I'll try and address those later if they come in later from the recording. Alrighty, so for the cues, you have your sensory or intuition. That's number one. Then you have the universe tap tap, little. And then you get the third one is if you're not listening, if you don't hear if you're not paying attention to the sensory, the intuition, you're not paying attention to the tap tap, like somebody tapping you on the shoulder. Universe kind of goes a smack smack, and sometimes that smack smack is a big smack. And then four, if you're not paying attention to that, the universe does one of these. That's a knockout punch. So that's when the universe is going, did you pay attention? Did you pay attention? Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? And then the universe just goes, okay, well, I guess it takes a big cue for you to pay attention. So I wanted to use an example of mine. Many of you know that may have already been following the show. I had an incident with skin cancer. So here was how that went for me. You deal with regular stress. So, how do you're asking energy and stuff like that. Regular stress. Everybody has regular stress, right? And how do we deal with regular stress? Most of us just deal with it. We just don't really do much about it. We don't really take time out, breathe, meditate, do the things that will make us happy and make us calm and, keep us, like de-stress. Take it down a few notches. So, all right, that's number one, regular stress. So your intuition, your sensory, you're under stress. This is, kind of a no-brainer. And most people have like regular daily stress, which is, your average stress. Maybe it's commuting in traffic, maybe it's, I don't know, waiting in a long line, something like that. Or, maybe your stress is a little bit higher end than that. Maybe you're going through a life occurrence, you're going through a move, a divorce, a death in the family, a sickness, an illness, or something like that. That could be more of something that, that's or stress, but that's more of an extreme. Okay, so how do you handle that? Let's see here. Most of us tend to ignore that, as I mentioned before, or occasionally tend to it. So maybe you get, maybe take a little bit more R&R time. Maybe you go take a walk or something like that. Maybe you eat like a little bit better. Instead of hitting junk food to just kind of feed the, mindlessness of stress, you actually go, yeah, maybe I'll, eat a salad today or something like that. And then that's that, and that's as much as you do about it. That's step one. Okay, so that's regular stress, right? So I have regular stress, right? Like what everybody does. And as I say, the women I run with, we're very busy, very active, we got our hands in a lot of things, we're doing a lot of things. So I wish I could sit on my thumbs, or sit around eating bonbons, but I don't. I have lots of things to take care of, lots of things that I'm responsible for. So again, falls under the category of regular stress, and with the occasional extra stresses thrown in of life occurrences and things like that. All right, that was number one. Didn't respond to that much at all. Okay, then I got itchy skin. Whatever, like itchy patches. Kind of like maybe somebody call it a dermatitis, a eczema, or psoriasis, something like that. Itchy skin, basically. And it was annoying, and then it got to be like painful. But I dealt with it. So the way I dealt with it was, like topicals, and I looked into it a little bit of just like what would topically take care of it, right? Because it was itchy skin. It wasn't anything bad. When it went through the wedding stuff, I got like patches underneath my arms that became so itchy that they started getting scaly, and they would itch so bad, and they got so painful because they were so itchy. That and I tried all kinds of topical things for it. Nothing seemed to work for me. So again, this is like that was the intuition was the stress. That's that part of it. The regular stress, the itchy skin was like the next, like the little tap tap, like I should have paid attention to that. You would think the wedding, I basically kind of figured it was stress related, so I used my intuition and kind of correlated it with that. So that the itchiness became really bad. Like I actually thought that they were bug bites, and it turns out they weren't bug bites. I, did more research online, and a friend of mine had recommended a place called the Green Herb, and so I went and got my blood tested there, and they found out that I had candida, and candida happens with the lining of the stomach, and it's a bacteria that everybody has in their intestines, but not the stomach, in the intestines. That should be there because it's part of the bacterial, the biodome, bio your intestinal flora, okay, if you will. So there's supposed to be good and bad bacteria in there. Like the good bacteria is supposed to overwhelm the bad. So, but candida, when it gets out of control, starts escaping out of the intestines and running through the bloodstream, and that's what I found out. So then I found out I had candida. So, and mine was extreme. It was so extreme that it was causing the skin stuff, which made me seek help. So that was the third step of that, like the universe did the tap tap with the itchy, then the candida was that itchy that I was trying to deal with. So I had to go to bump it up to the next level of changes, which was dietary changes. So I started having to take a look at what I really needed to do, and and I did extreme dietary changes. So like cutting out sugar, cutting out, and when you first start the candida diet, you have to go very extreme on stuff because you want the candida die off. You want the candida done as quick as possible. It is not a fun process. So like when you're cutting out sugar, not fun. Most people say, I can't cut out sugar. It's like I always tell them, you would if you had to. And it's not that I had to, but I've learned that, I could deal with the consequences of that if I do that. So anyway, so I did mainly dietary changes. They were pretty significant. Well, uh, fast forward a few times, I like literally went through a few rounds of candida, like more than one, and like universe tap tap, tap tap, smack smack, smack smack, itchy itchy, smack smack, tap tap. This went on and on, several times. Fast forward to this year where I ended up having a mole. I had it got it biopsied. It turned out it was skin cancer, not just the first two kinds of skin cancer, which are lesser, but the big bad three kind, which was melanoma. So it turns out when I did further research, because again, I need the universe like, okay, knockout punch, you know, and I was down for a month and a half because I had to have arm surgery and all that kind of stuff to remove the mole and then recuperate from that, and it was not fun to say the least. But anyway, so what did I have to do for that? Now the universe has given me the tapping, the little clues, all of these little things that I had made before. Like I had done the dietary changes, but then I had kind of gone back to my old habits. Throw wheat back in, a little bit, throw sugar back in, a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, you kind of test out, the dietary stuff, and then it just comes back. So, but I found out that candida is a precursor for skin cancer. So not everybody who has candida gets skin cancer, but it doesn't help. So it was one of those interesting things where I've found out that if you pay attention to these things, you don't have to go to the knockout punch version of the cues from the universe of, like, for instance, listening to your body. So now, not just life, I have to make lifestyle changes. So cutting out processed sugar. And it's not that I don't have like a little bit of candy here and there, but instead of like having a serving of potato chips, I'll literally like have one or two. There are occasions where I kind of do like the Weight Watchers versions where I do a swap out. If I'm going to have a nice big salad out, I might do something like that. So I might have a glass of wine. Wine is a complete glass of sugar, basically. It's the alcohol and it has some nutritional quality with the benefits of red wine, which I do happen to drink and I like, but it's not, there's other things that I could do that would be way better, like berries, fresh berries. Those are low on the glycemic sugar levels and stuff like that. So alcohol is higher on that. So anyway, these lifestyle changes, I have to take them seriously now. Well, I don't have to. I don't have to. As my husband said, you have these self-imposed rules. Well, Yeah, because I have to do something for myself or face the consequences. So like I said, I don't have to do any of these things. I could eat as much wheat as I want. I could eat as much sugar as I want, but I'll be itching like a son of a gun. And and the one thing that, as Joan would, she's like, "Why are you still itching? You know, like you've done all these other things and they're so major." Um, the one thing that I haven't still dealt with is the stress. So like bigger stresses in my life still have an effect on me. So I haven't quite gotten a hold of that. So I'm, just like everybody, I'm trying to manage things accordingly. So anyway, that's my experience of having gone through these cues and clues from the universe. So, how would I want to turn this into some helpful advice? So, here are some hard learned recommendations that I have for you. And these are ones that you already know. But sometimes, just like me, we have to be reminded of the things that we already know that we should do and incorporate them in. Because if you don't do them, your body will kick you. It'll tap. It'll do all these things before it just takes you out. So it could be a health issue. It could be a breakdown. It could be all kinds of things. So why not take care of your body in the best way possible? So here's my recommendations. And again, these are silly and easy, but the easy things aren't always the things that we do, right? We all know what to do, we just don't do them. That's what I always tell people, especially my students in my class and my clients. So sleep, number one. It does more than you think. So one of the things sleep does is it helps you with your immune system. It helps that is when your immune system recovers. It's also a really cool thing. Watch Dr. It's Daniel Amens. Yeah. He's on PBS. He's written several books on brain functioning, brain chemistry, all this kind of stuff. Sleep is when your brain like does a little washy zone. Your brain washes itself at night when you sleep. Isn't that cool? So it takes, toxins out and different things like that. But your body needs rest to recuperate, and the brain function is one of them. So also on a second note there, the digestive tract is often called by a lot of experts the second brain. And when about the candida stuff, I learned a lot about like hormones are controlled in your intestines. There's so many things that get controlled from your intestinal tract. We don't really give our intestinal tracts a lot of love or a lot of consideration or a lot of thought. But until you have a problem with it, and then anybody with IBS can tell you that, and I've dealt with IBS before. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, where it can range from anything from diarrhea to cramping to constipation to there's a lot of different manifestations of how IBS looks for different people. And my doctor had explained it that under stress, your intestines are supposed, she did a visual on me, so she's like, your intestines are supposed to go, so there's a tube here, and the intestines kind of move things along the system and moves things along and moves things along, and that's what it's supposed to do. That's how it's supposed to work. And mine were going and just and it was creating a great deal of pain. So that's how it manifested in me. So I had to learn the signs, the signals, the cues, and the clues that when it first started, like I would get that first sign of pain, and if I actually took time to go de-stress, go breathe, go relax for a little bit, and just take my mind off of the stress of whatever was stressing me out, that I could curtail this completely. If I didn't listen, then I got to be down for the count with 3 days of really bad cramping, intestinal cramping. That's how it manifested on me. So, again, you can listen to the cues and clues or ignore them and then deal with the consequences. So that's one of the things. So sleep is one of those things that will help your batteries recharge, your immune system recharge, your brain wash, all kinds of good things happen when you get enough sleep. So that's number one. Number two, wheat. So like I said, sleep, it does more than you think. Wheat, it does more damage than you think. So number one, wheat isn't grown in the same way that used to be grown. So like your parents, your grandparents may not have had like wheat allergies because it wasn't genetically modified. It wasn't, it's a big thing. It wasn't this little modified, honed down little crop that is, in all the ways that it is grown now is very different. Corn, wheat, all that kind of good stuff is bad stuff these days. Even if you're getting the organic, a lot of people still have sensitivities to it. And most people would think, I'm not allergic to wheat. And you may be right, but you also may need to look at the subtler cues and clues that you may actually have a low level intolerance to wheat. So you may be sluggish, you may have brain fog, you may have like a whole bunch of different things. Go look up any of the Candida books and they'll go over some of these things that wheat and sugar do. So on that note, sugar is number 3. So try and eliminate the sugar. So that is one of the recommendations, especially now. I know sugar is a monster to try and get rid of. Some people liken it to getting off of heroin, or trying to quit smoking because sugar is so thoroughly addicting. And most people don't realize that until you get off of sugar and you turn into this monster, like literally a sugar monster, because you're cranky, your energy levels are kind of out the window because sugar gives you this spike boost in energy, but that also gives you a drop. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. It's like, this is great, this is fun, this is great, this is fun, and then you have no energy, not so much fun anymore. So my recommendation, if you can at least, if you're going to make some baby steps of progress in this direction, at least get the processed sugars out of your diet. So, and white refined sugars especially. There's a lot of bad things with that. You can go research that out as well. So, but those sugars really make a difference in your energy levels. So if you can put in more vegetables, especially, start replacing it, your addiction to sugar and your craving for it will actually reduce, amazingly enough. My husband tells a story about how when he started juicing, he had no urge for dessert. He lost his taste for sweets a lot, so he had no urge to, there was no cravings. So when he juiced regularly, so juicing meaning like just doing regular vegetable juice. So you can do cannabis juice as well, but I'm just talking about what most of us have access to, which is vegetable juicing. So you know, carrots are still high in sugar. So eat carrots and apples. When you juice, you're removing the fiber. So that's why I recommend going with the vegetables. And I understand carrots a vegetable, but going with a lot of the greens and stuff like that, go for those. Celery, cucumber, excellent things to juice with. They also help clean out the system. And there was a doctor that I just listened to a webinar about how awesome celery juice was and how awesome it was for skin conditions with celery juice. I was like, cool. And just celery juice. And I'm like, all right, cool. And lemon is also a really good thing too. The lemon, even though you think it's acidic, which it is, in the body it is alkaline. Which brings me to my next 4th recommendation, which is water. Drinking lots of water does many things for your body. First of all, it helps detoxify. Second of all, of course, first of all, it hydrates because you need that. You don't have brain function, you don't have body function, you don't have a lot of the functions going on if you are not hydrated. So, but it also detoxifies and removes the things that shouldn't be in your body and helps remove those quicker and easier. And the 3rd recommendation on that is that you try to drink alkaline water. So there's a lot of bottled waters out there, especially. I try not to drink things that come from a big brand name company, especially if they make soda. Those are the ones I really don't trust. I had like a Nestle water the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I already don't trust you. And then my husband was telling me the story of what Nestle does to steal water and take water from aquifers and stuff like that. And so, again, the research is out there. You can go look up these, you don't have to take my word for it. Just go look this stuff up on your own and start looking into these different things. So, anyway, go over those again. Sleep, good. Wheat, bad. Sugar, bad. Water, good. So, eliminate the things that are bad, increase the things that are good, and run with that. All right, on that note, I wanted to go over some humor because that's also one of the, it's a stress reliever and it is a great way to just, well, first of all, enjoy your day. And also, you get to go over things in such a way that is a lot more lighthearted. So you don't have to take everything, the stresses that come at you, don't have to be just like, ah, if you can deal with them with a little bit of humor, it's going to take the edge off of things. So they're not quite so sharp and bumpy. So, alrighty, on that note, let's do a little humor exercise. And this is a laughter yoga exercise. Hopefully my hat stays on through this. So it stayed on through the wind. Hey, sweetie. Little puppy's behind me. Little Layla. So what it is, you're going to take a nice deep breath in, roll the shoulders back. And let's do 3 of those deep breaths, just without the laughter part. Take a nice deep breath in, roll the shoulders back. You're just getting used to it. And on the next one, and roll the shoulders back and give it a good laugh. Now that you've got the hang of that, we're going to add a little sidewinder into this. This is a little dance move for the 80s, from the 80s, or it's a little belly dance move known as the sidewinder. So I have a little background in belly dance. So actually, more years than I've been hooping, I've been belly dancing. But I'm much more of a hooper. Study that more. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this little sidewinder. So the head is going to lead, and then the shoulders are going to get there, right? Head is going to lead, and then the shoulders are going to get there. So you can add that little whoop-de-doo in at the end if you want. So we're going to take a nice deep breath on the head lead part, and then we're going to laugh it out when we get there. So we're going to breathe it in, laugh it out, breathe it in, laugh it out. Big hearty laugh. Breathe it in, laugh it out. One more time, the other direction. Breathe it in, laugh it out. And at the end of laughter yoga exercises, we take our hands together, nice big hands, go very good, yay. We do that twice, very good, yay. Alrighty. So, and that hits a lot of the acupressure points on the hands, and you get to smile. So, hopefully you did that with me. If not, go back, rewind the video, and go do that. I dare you to have a little bit of fun with me. So, anyway, alrighty. Now, moving on to the hooping portion. Okay, the puppy dog is right behind me, so I'm going to need a hoop right in the section that she's there. Okay, so cues with your hooping flow. So what I mean by that is what leads into the next thing. What's a cue for one thing onto the next? So one of the things I wanted to go over was a hooping, on body core hooping with a lift off. And you go in the direction that you're hooping in. Okay, so, all right, sweetie. Let's see if we can get her, Layla, to do a little cameo here. Can you do up, up? Can you do up, up? Up, up? Up, up? Up, up? Up, up? Yes, almost. That's a high five. They can't see you on camera, though. Up, up? Can you do up, up? Up, up? Up, up? Up, up? Almost. Almost. Oh, now she's doing yoga dog. I've been trying to get her to do yoga dog for a while. Okay, up, up. One more. Up, 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 up. Oh, can I give you a little help? Oh, can we see her in the camera? There we go. There's little Layla. Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, now I need you to move. Okay, because I'm going to hoop now. All right, so what we're doing is we're doing the cues and clues. So I'm going to be hooping to my right just to demonstrate this. I have a smaller hoop because I'm in a small space here in my office doing the broadcast. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm hooping to my right. And I'm also going to take off this because it's going to get in my way. So, all right, put that down. And so I'm hooping to my right, and what I'm going to do is I want to use this to cue off and lift it, do a front lift because it's going to be a next logical step. So a cue to do the next thing of where to move to. So I'm hooping, and I'm going to take the same hand that the direction is going. So the current of the hoop is the direction of your hoop. So if I'm hooping to the right, I'm going to use and this is just a reach in, and I'm going to scissor it with my right hand. So I actually like to go in and scissor it like so. And then I'm going to lift this up. As this lifts up, it's going to change, and my hand's going to come in and around, and then I can do whatever I want with it. So I can move into the next thing, Q whatever works. So again, one more time with this. So I'm going to be hooping. This is going to go a little bit fast now. That's why I was trying to demonstrate slow. I'm going to be turning with this, and I'm going to get this in and up. So it has to go really fast to get this up. Otherwise, you have what I call hoopy D or hoop droop. So hoopy D, erectile dysfunction, where your hoop goes. Okay, so again, humor part of the show. So you're going to be getting that hoop going, and I'm going to bring this up and over. So, and I'm also turning in the direction so that I make that easier to do. So, like, let's say you're doing a partner dance with somebody and you want to do that. This is really neat to be able to do with duets, is you can do cues with each person as a duet. So one person can start a move and the other person can get into it as well too and imitate it. And with two people, it doesn't matter if you do it the same way, same direction, or opposite ways, because it both looks good. So there's a cue, and that's a clue of how to do some choreography. And that clue is a lead up into next week. We're going to be focusing on choreography, because next week is the choreography, the 3-day choreography challenge that will be online, that I will be leading. It is completely free, so join in, join along. We're trying this one more time, up and over. And then you can add in all your other kind of fun stuff. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a lot out of this broadcast, some different humor, some little different humor quips, all kinds of fun stuff. Let's hear, I think yes. Oh, there was one other tiny little thing, and that is doing these little things that when you take care of yourself, take care of your body, when you take care of your happiness and throw it in with humor, think of, like, every time you laugh during a day, adding 5 points to your day. Yes, you're going to be scoring yourself. So it's like a bank account. It's a positive deposit on a bank account. So every time you go under stress and you're like frowny face, that's a depletion of your bank account, of your energetic bank account. But every time you do something that is good for you, you get some sleep, you get some water, you eliminate the wheat choice of your meal, and throw in a vegetable. That's, like 5 points. Add 10 points in, like add these things and try and see if you can come up with 100 points in a day. Yes, score yourself. It's an honor system. Try it. It's kind of fun, so you can do that with all kinds of things, but try and do little deposits of wonderful things for yourself during your day to help de-stress and help add to your positive health bank account, health and happiness bank account, because that is, you're banking on that, and you don't want to take away from your future savings either. So, as we get to the future, when we start getting older and stuff like that, we have less available resources, less time to build that good stuff up. So it's much like actual financial investing. If you start investing $1 every day when you're 20 as opposed to $1 every day when you're 60, big difference in how much that's going to accumulate and compound. Woo, big words. No, not really big words, but seriously, it is a compounding of energy. So it's like the vortex up. I've covered that in a past show about the vortex up. Cycling up, when you're positive, then you start focusing on the positive, then more things are attracted to you because of the positivity. Same thing is cycling. Some people call it circling the drain, and most people think of that because they think, but it's like one bad thing happens and the next bad thing happens, and then you're looking for that third bad thing to happen. You're like, well, now my day's shot. But if you were looking at it in a different way, like, oh wow, somebody dropped a penny on the ground and I picked it up, that's really cool. Somebody left a flower on my desk, that was really nice. Somebody, like, paid for my coffee or something, or somebody just like let you in traffic. Just like little tiny things. They don't have to be like big, like you won a lottery ticket or something like that, but it could be just like little things. But if you notice and appreciate those little things, somebody took the time to call you or message you, wish you a happy birthday, or whatever the case may be, those are positive things to your bank account. So reach out, be social, have friends, tell somebody in their day, give them a compliment, because that helps their bank account. It also helps your bank account too. So it's good karma points as well. So anyway, hopefully those things have helped you, enlightened you, just reminded you of the goodness that you can do to bring to yourself in your day. So, all right. Thank you so much. I'm doing better on time. I'm so proud of myself. So, I'm adding to my bank account of keeping consistent with my show, trying to do well, trying to do better and better each time, prepare my notes, follow my notes, and all that kind of good stuff. So, yay! And I have my one little pet cameo in here today. I hope you enjoyed seeing Layla. That she's our new little adoptee puppy, a 3-year-old puppy dog. So she's learning tricks. So again, like the bank account, she doesn't train herself. She did come with a little bit of training, but again, it's habit. It's what you train yourself to do. So yeah, I didn't start out like eliminating all the sugar and being brilliant at it. That did not happen. Just ask anybody around me how many times I had to take a run at that wall. Vegetarianism wasn't like that for me either. That was not easy for me to do. I had to take many running starts at it, many failed attempts. Drinking water, sometimes things work in a nice, easy fashion, and sometimes they don't. I know people that have tried to quit smoking. I know one person, that was my grandma, who quit smoking cold turkey. She's the one example that I use, because she did a prayer. Her sister was in the hospital, and she prayed and made a deal with God. She's like, if my sister recovers from that, I will quit smoking. And she did. She honored her commitment to that, and she quit smoking, and she never looked back. It was not a problem with her. So I do understand that that is a possibility. I understand that for a lot of people, that is really hard. And I have a friend and neighbor who I would love to see her healthy and not smoking, but it's going to take whatever path it takes for people to get there. So for me, universe tapped, it did a little nudge, a little tap, a little slap smack, yeah, that, and then it did the knockout punch with me, with my health stuff. So now I have to pay attention and honor the cues that the universe gives me. So, and also, I think of those universal cues as like angel promptings as well. So sometimes people are trying to tell you something. So whether it be like literally around people around you, like talking to you and telling you things, or little messages that come across as intuition, or just an inkling, a feeling that that you should really honor. So if you feel in a dangerous situation, that might be one of those things of, hey, don't go there, don't do that. And if you feel good about something, that might be a hey, go there, do that. There's a good feeling. There's a good feeling for a reason. May not always work to the way that you might think that it will, but sometimes you do get the benefit of it. So, all right. I wish you happiness, joy, peace, love, humor, all that kind of good stuff. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Shay Rippinger of Hip the Hoopla. Please go check out my website, www.hipthehoopla.com. I am also on Instagram and YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, so please go and hit the like on this button. Watch it. I need some extra YouTube hours and some extra subscribers so that I can get on their partnership program. So, and also, if you would like to be on my email list, I send out tutorials and good things and all kinds of things. So I would like to be getting that going and having a lovely list of really wonderful people that I can communicate with who enjoy living in a healthy way, living with humor and vibrancy, and if you like hooping, bonus, because I did that too. So, alrighty, so go over there, sign up for the email list. You get a free gift, woo, incentive. So go over to www.hipthehoopla.com and sign up. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. All right, rock on, peace out, bye.